Everyone at the academy screamed when I said I was from Earth. I didn't understand why at first. I thought maybe I had mispronounced the name, or maybe Earth sounded like an insult in galactic standard. But when every alien in the cafeteria stood up, their bioluminescent eyes wide and their tendrils curling away from me, I realized something else was going on. I was the only human in the entire Celestial Academy of Sentient Life, the most prestigious school in the galaxy, and apparently the most feared. I had dreamed of this place since I was a kid. I'd studied alien linguistics, galactic ethics, and even the finer details of photosynthetic biology just to pass the entrance exams. Humanity hadn't sent a student in centuries. The last time someone from Earth enrolled, the records said the student was removed for reasons undisclosed. I thought that just meant expelled. I was wrong. My first roommate, a four-eyed reptilian named Scath, refused to share the same air with me. He filed for isolation rights on the first night. "You breathe poison," he hissed as he dragged his belongings into the hall. "Not for lungs." For minds, I laughed it off, thinking it was some kind of alien superstition. But everywhere I went, whispers followed. "That's it, right? The Earth spawn? The meat one? The species that started the Great Silence? How did the Academy even allow him in?" I tried to keep my head down. The classes were incredible. Lectures on timefold physics, classes on symbiotic evolution, even seminars on cosmic diplomacy. But I couldn't shake the feeling that I was a walking myth. The instructors were polite, but their glances lingered too long. The other students gave me wide corridors. Even the janitorial drones beeped nervously when they passed. One day during lunch, a tall, crystalline being named Vethra approached my table. She was part of the Lumaran Collective, one of the galaxy's oldest civilizations, known for their calm logic and cold beauty. "Human," she said in her shimmering, echoing voice, "do you know why your kind is forbidden here?" I looked up from my protein tray. "Because we talk too much?" "Because you destroy," she said simply. "You invent, then destroy. You create, then consume. The Council still remembers the signal," oh, I frowned. "What signal?" "The one your species sent before the ban." I didn't recall Earth sending anything special beyond the usual broadcasts: music, coordinates, invitations to visit. "That was over 200 years ago," I said. "It was a message of peace." Wow. Vithra's crystal facets dimmed slightly like a sigh. "That's what you thought." Then she walked away, leaving me with more questions than answers. That night, I snuck into the Academy's data archive. Accessing restricted files was grounds for expulsion. But I needed to know. I bypassed the standard locks, thanks to a few human-style algorithms I coded myself. The Galactic Council's files on Earth were buried deep, labeled Prohibited Contact Zone 7E. I opened the first report. Year 4821. The human signal reached the Triarch cluster. Translation complete. Not a message of peace. A warning. I scrolled down, reading faster. Humans declared intent to expand beyond Sol. They mentioned reconfiguration of lesser species, biological experimentation, and conversion of hostile entities. The Council concluded humanity's mind pattern was divergent, potentially contagious. Termination or isolation recommended. My stomach twisted. It didn't make sense. Humanity had barely reached Mars in that era, let alone interstellar travel. We weren't monsters. We were explorers, dreamers, desperate to prove we belonged in the stars. But something about that record didn't add up. A data fragment caught my attention. Source reconstruction failed. Possible interference from unknown subchannel. Someone had altered the message. I leaned back, staring at the flickering holodisplay. Who would want to make humanity look like a threat? As I pondered it, the screen suddenly blinked red. Unauthorized access detected. Security drones swarmed the room within seconds. I bolted for the exit, heart pounding. I turned a corner and collided with Vithra. Her crystal body refracted the emergency lights like shattered glass. "You shouldn't have seen that," she said. "Then tell me the truth," I demanded. "What really happened?" She hesitated, her voice softer now. "The truth is older than this academy. The first species to meet humans didn't die in war. They disappeared. Disappeared? Every trace of them vanished. No wreckage, no radiation, no decay, just absence. She stared at me like I was an experiment. And when they were gone, new stars formed where their worlds used to be. I didn't know whether to laugh or panic. You think humans made stars? That's insane. We think your kind bends reality, she said. You make existence choose sides. The alarms continued to wail, but she didn't move. You are not what you think you are, human. You never were. Then she vanished, her crystalline body dissolving into beams of light. I stood there, breathless, the words echoing in my mind. You make existence choose sides. When I returned to my quarters, there was a small cube waiting on my desk. It pulsed faintly, matching the rhythm of my heartbeat. A hologram flickered to life above it. Vithra's voice again, but it calmer. If you want answers, go to the lower observatory at dawn. Come alone. The message ended, leaving the cube silent. I didn't sleep that night. Outside my window, the twin moons of the Academy world glowed pale green, casting long shadows over the spires and domes. I stared at them and wondered if somewhere, light years away, Earth was still considered home, or a myth whispered about in fear. I didn't know what awaited me at dawn, but I knew one thing. Whatever humanity was accused of, I was going to find out the truth. I arrived at the lower observatory before dawn, the corridor silent except for the low hum of the Academy's energy field. The observatory dome was massive, lined with transparent alloy panels that revealed a breathtaking view of the stars. As the twin moons dipped below the horizon, the sky shifted from violet to black, and a faint silhouette emerged near the central console. It was Vithra, her crystalline form refracting the starlight into shifting rainbows. You came, she said, her voice echoing faintly in the cold air. You said you wanted the truth, I replied. Start talking. She gestured to a hovering holomap of the galaxy. 1,000 stars pulsed across it, but several zones flickered red. These are extinction sites, she explained, planets where civilizations vanished. No war, no plague, just absence. The first was 2 centuries after your people's first signal reached us. You think humans caused that? I asked, stepping closer. How? We didn't even have interstellar ships then. You misunderstand, Vithra said softly. The Council believes it wasn't what humans did. It was what they are. Something about your species rewrites the systems around it. The closer civilizations came to your signal, the more anomalies appeared. Stars behaving like living things, time distortions, matter reconfigurations. We called it the Earth pattern. I frowned, trying to process her words. You're saying humans mutate reality? Maybe not consciously, she said, but the effect was undeniable. The Council decided to isolate your world, to prevent contamination. Contamination, I muttered. So I'm just a walking hazard now? You may be more than that, she replied. There's something dormant in you. The Academy monitors all life forms for biofield irregularities. Yours is unique. Before I could answer, the doors behind me hissed open. 2 security drones hovered in, flanking a tall figure draped in an official robe. It was Chancellor Razor, a member of the Thalen species, massive insectoid with mandibles that clicked softly when he spoke. Student Carter, he boomed, you have accessed restricted data, violated security protocols, and now stand in an unauthorized facility with a faculty member. She brought me here, I said quickly, but Vithra shook her head slightly. Silence, Razor ordered. His compound eyes glowed faintly red. By order of the Council, you are hereby detained for xenopsychological evaluation. The drones closed in, their stun beams warming up. My pulse spiked. Without thinking, I raised my hands in surrender. And that's when it happened. The air around me rippled, as if reality itself took a deep breath. The observatory lights flickered, the holomap glitched, and both drones froze midair, their systems locking up. Sparks danced across their casings before they crashed to the ground. Razor stumbled back. What did you do? He hissed. I stared at my hands. They were glowing faintly, threads of blue light pulsing beneath the skin. I don't know, I stammered. You see, Vithra whispered, The pattern responds to emotion. Razor turned toward her, his voice shaking. This human cannot remain here. He must be quarantined. No, erased. He's not dangerous, Vithra said. He's proof the council was wrong. The phenomenon can be understood or weaponized, Razor snapped. Do you want to risk another silence? The two of them argued, their voices rising, but I wasn't listening anymore. My mind was spinning, my body tingling with strange energy. The air shimmered wherever I moved like heat distortion. I took a cautious step backward, and the holomap suddenly expanded, filling the entire dome with spinning galaxies. Patterns emerged in the stars, spirals matching neural diagrams, constellations rearranging to form human-like silhouettes. It was beautiful and terrifying. Vithra turned toward me. Carter, you need to focus. Breathe, you're channeling the field unconsciously. What field? The fundamental weave of existence, she said quickly. We believe humans can resonate with it. Razor backed away, his mandibles clattering. He's altering the field directly. This is impossible. Alarms blared throughout the academy. The control room's comm system crackled to life with frantic voices in a dozen languages. Containment breach in the lower sector. Reality flux detected. Seal the observatory. The doors slammed shut with a hiss. I felt panic rising again, and the glow intensified. The floor beneath me rippled like liquid metal. Vithra reached out, her crystal hand meeting my shoulder. You must control it, she said. If the council intervenes, they'll destroy you. Why help me, I asked. Because, she said, her light dimming slightly, I think your kind is the reason the universe keeps expanding. You are not a mistake. You are evolution's next step. The door behind us exploded inward as security forces swarmed in. Vithra raised her arms, projecting a shield of refracted light around us. Energy blasts ricocheted off it, filling the dome with blinding flashes. Carter, run, she shouted. Head for the transport tunnels. Not without you. Go. Her voice cracked, more human than I'd ever heard it. I bolted for the side corridor, the walls pulsing with distortion as I passed. The lights flickered in and out, gravity wavering beneath my feet. I didn't know where I was going, only that the academy was turning into chaos behind me. Through the comm system, I heard Razor's voice commanding lockdowns and containment fields. The human must not reach the outer decks. Drones zipped past me, some malfunctioning midair, others twisting as if warped by invisible hands. I ducked into a maintenance shaft and slid down into the transport level. The tunnel stretched for miles, lined with maglev pods. Most were sealed, but one flickered to life as I approached, the doors hissing open automatically. Inside, the console displayed a destination I didn't recognize. Sector Null. I hesitated for only a second before stepping in. As the pod shot forward at incredible speed, I looked out the window and saw the academy shrinking behind me, spires bending slightly, as though the space around them were folding. Then, through the interference, I saw something stranger, shapes forming in the starlight. Human shapes. For a heartbeat, the void seemed alive, watching. The pod's AI voice spoke calmly. Destination, Null Observatory. Warning, area uncharted. I sat down, still shaking. If what Vithra said was true, then humanity wasn't just another species. We were something else entirely. And if the council feared us, that meant they knew more than they had ever revealed. The stars outside blurred as the pod entered hypershift. Somewhere ahead lay the truth about why the galaxy's oldest species avoided Earth. The pod emerged from hypershift into complete darkness. Not the natural kind, this was something deeper, as if light itself had chosen not to exist here. The Null Observatory hung suspended in the void, a shattered station orbiting a dead star that emitted no radiation, no heat, no trace of time. As I stepped out, gravity flickered beneath my feet like an uncertain dream. The silence was absolute, broken only by the hum of my own heartbeat. Then a voice echoed around me, deep and layered, speaking in a language that somehow made sense even though I had never heard it before. You've come home, it said. Who are you? I called out. The air rippled, and from the darkness emerged shapes, human silhouettes made of pure light, shifting like reflections in water. We are what remains, the voice continued, fragments of the first awakening. You call yourselves humans. We were the first pattern my mind reeled. You mean humans existed before? Before existence itself as you know it, the voice said. We shaped matter, guided evolution, seeded consciousness across galaxies. When the others grew fearful, they erased our name, called us myth, then sealed your world to stop what they could not understand. The realization hit me like a shockwave. Humanity wasn't the newest species. It was the oldest, reborn in flesh to rediscover what it had once been. The galaxy's oldest races, I said quietly. They aren't avoiding us because we're dangerous. They're avoiding us because we remind them of their origin. Yes, the voice replied. They fear the reflection of what they lost. You are the proof that creation never ends. It only restarts. I took a slow breath, the blue light beneath my skin pulsing stronger. The observatory's shattered panels began to vibrate, their edges glowing. If that's true, then why am I here? Why me? Because you awakened where they could not. The Academy, the Council, even the stars themselves, all are bound by the patterns we once set in motion. You have the choice to continue it or to end it. I looked out into the void. Stars flickered faintly at the horizon like tiny sparks waiting to be reignited. Then I'll choose to continue it, I said, but not as gods. As friends. As friends, the light beings pulsed once, brighter, and then dissolved into a storm of energy that swirled around me. The void trembled. Space rippled outward in rings of light as the dead star reignited, flooding the darkness with color. The explosion spread through the void, reshaping constellations and bending the flow of cosmic energy. Every sentient mind across the galaxy would see it, the rebirth of the impossible. Back at the Celestial Academy, alarms would stop, sensors would go silent, and beings who once whispered Earthspawn would look to the heavens in awe. The light enveloped me, warm and infinite, until I could no longer tell where I ended and where the universe began. I understood then what Vithra had meant. Humans didn't just live in the universe. We were the universe, learning to understand itself. I opened my eyes to see the dawn of new stars blooming across the void, their light spreading to every world that had once feared us. For the first time, the galaxy wasn't silent. It was singing. I smiled, feeling the echoes of a billion lives awakening, knowing that humanity had not returned to conquer or destroy, but to remind existence how to dream again. The light surged one final time, brighter than thought, and the void became whole. The Academy's towers shimmered on the horizon. Somewhere within them, Vithra looked up, whispering softly, "Welcome back, human." The stars answered with light. Did you like today's story? Then catch our posts at 3 p.m. Eastern Time daily. Unfold more intergalactic stories with Professor Space.